The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 22nd day of January 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman, and Simone Vaughn will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's. It's not really middle of the day or week for like myself, because we just started yesterday. We took that day off on Monday in honor of the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. But for all those who have been at work, traditional work week since Monday, happy hump day to you. Happy Wednesday to you. How's everyone feeling? Another Wednesday. January is floating by. Here's the crazy thing, folks. Some of you know that I actually do the Daniel fast every year since 2009. That's the Daniel fast is pretty much eating fruits, vegetables, whole grains, from January 1st to January 21st, so 21 days. And I finished yesterday, and I basically finished just doing juices yesterday. So 6 juices for the day. It takes discipline. It's difficult, but yet again, I'm happy I was able to do it. No, I'm not a religious person, so I know Daniel fast is a Christian fast. No, I'm not religious, but I do enjoy participating and just being good to myself and my body. So I'm happy to have completed that. And yeah, we move forward. It's really about keeping up the habits that you experience during the Daniel fast. So looking forward to many healthy conversations and meals and engagements from this point on, going forth in 2025. David Michael Wilson says, wishing all a wonderful Wednesday. We've got Suzanne Ingham. She says, awesome Wednesday, Jamel and Simone. Yes, and an awesome Wednesday to you as well. She says, it's looking gloomy out there, but not in my heart. Oh, I love that, Suzanne. I love that. I love that. No gloom in the heart. We have enough reason to feel that way. A lot going on in Bermuda right now. We've got Pastor Leroy Bean looks to be set to be announced as the C5 candidate, replacing Derek Burgess, the outgoing MP for the PLP in that area, as he defeated Damon Wade, former PLP chairman, last night in an internal election down there in C5. I think Maya brought to your attention yesterday that there had been resignations, not resignations, but people in the PLP who are not running in this upcoming election, being Wayne Kane's former Minister of National Security and cousin Derek Burgess, as many know him as. And so a lot of shakeup. On the One Bermuda Alliance side, something that I found more interesting than the number of rollouts yesterday was the fact that the persons they had listed on their website in C1, Tia Smith, and I believe C4, Elizabeth Deacon, were both not named. They're not going to be running, it looks like, the One Bermuda Alliance. So, I know when asked, OBA leader Jarian Richardson says, things happen and lives change between when they were announced as candidates and the election comes, right? So very interesting times in Bermuda as it relates to an election. We still have election talk regarding the independents. I don't know how to explain it any differently. I'm not involved in the any political party or what the independents have going on. But my take from it is simply that there's no party whip. It's not saying that they won't work together, but if one feels strongly about something, they don't have a whip to get them in line to vote along a party line. So if one believes in something and this is what the constituents want and two others don't, they're not going to vote together. That's what I get. If you can't see the difference between that and party politics, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making this part of your daily routine. A good one today. We're going to be discussing the number of members of parliament Bermuda needs, right? There's been a lot of talk that Bermuda has too many MPs. We're going to look at some similar jurisdictions and the like. Don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, let's jump into it, audience. Let's jump into it. So the question of the morning is, what are your thoughts on the number of members of parliament Bermuda currently has? All right. So we currently have 36 members of parliament. What are your thoughts on that number? And also, do you believe that Bermuda has too many members of parliament? Yes or no? That's just a simple yes or no. Do you believe Bermuda has too many members of parliament? There are currently 36. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there were 40 prior to 2003. Correct me if I'm wrong, audience, but there were 40 back then. It is currently 36. But do you believe that Bermuda has too many members of parliament? Now, I went to our good friend, the internet, and I just said, because I know I'm going to go on X. Let's call it X for the sake. So we had this question on our X, right? And the question is pretty much, how many members of parliament do you think Bermuda needs for the government to function properly? And 66% said 20 or less. 15% said more than 20. And 20% says the 36 it currently has. We have Jonathan Starlin who wrote, I feel 1,000 roughly is a good size. Let the MP really interact with constituents and be available. Multi-talented said half of what's there, 18. So believes there should be only 18. We had Ray Kai Emery, he's the former chair of the FDM. He said, I'll say this a million times, Parliament having 36 members allows for the best representation in the world. It's 1,100 to 1,500 voters in each constituency. C9 was won by 29 votes in the last election. Your vote actually matters with 36. But he was questioned, how does that compare to jurisdictions of a similar size? Ray Kai Emery says, Cayman is similar to us. They have 19 elected members of Parliament for 24,000 registered voters, which is about 1,200 voters to an MP. Jamaica, on the other hand, has 63 representatives for 1.9 million voters, making it 30,000 voters to one representative. He was then asked, should it not be based on population, not registered voters? The government works not just for those who are eligible to vote, correct? What that means is the Cayman Islands, which he used as an example. The Cayman Islands has 19 elected members, each representing one of 19 constituencies. However, as of January 9, 2025, the estimated population of the Cayman Islands is 75,180. This is approximately one MP per 3,957. Now, if you liken that to Bermuda, Bermuda has 36 members of parliament representing them in the House of Assembly with a population of 64,000 people. Approximately 64. This translates to roughly one MP per 1,778 people. So the bottom line, I think there was a disconnect with what Mr. Emery was saying and the question. The question isn't about registered voters. It's about the population, whether that's expats or whether that is young people who are not eligible to vote. It should be, we can easily say, oh, well, it's the parents or guardians represent the young people. But let's compare populations. Let's go through this, folks. Let's compare populations. So again, Bermuda has 36 members of parliament, a population of approximately 64,000 people, which kind of works out to be roughly 1 MP per 1,778 people. Then we have the Barbados. They have 30 elected members, and that works out to be, with a population of 282,000, 1 in 9,400, right? Then we have Bahamas. They have 39 elected members of parliament, a population of about 417,790 people, works out to be 1 in 10,712 people. Then we have, well, I said the Cayman Islands, they have approximately 75,180. Again, more than half of our expats, so that works about to be 1 MP per 3,957. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, they have 21 members, including 15 elected members and 4 appointed members, with 2 ex officio members. So their estimated population is 46,062, and they have 1 elected member per 3,071. So with all those, if you compare it population-wise, Bermuda actually has way more MPs than we probably need, if we're honest. So the question of the morning: what are your thoughts on the number of members of parliament Bermuda currently has? And also, do you believe that Bermuda has too many members of parliament at 36? Nicole Hassel says yes. She believes we have too many MPs. Suzanne Ingham says yes, too many. We've got Ellen Kate Horton says yes. All right, too many MPs. Richard Scott says 36 is potentially too many. As a consideration, 21 MPs, 7 senators, separate vote for both the premier and deputy premier. I think that's fair. I like the way you've done it in odd numbers as well. I think odd numbers keep us honest. Silas Lynch says yes, too many MPs. Okay, keep it coming, audience. What are your thoughts? Comparatively speaking, we do have more. We've got Mia Chambray over on Instagram. She says yes, too many for such a tiny island. Okay, I want to hear from you, audience. Let us know. We've got 36. Population-wise, comparatively speaking, we do have more MPs than most other jurisdictions of a similar size. However, I do understand people who say we don't want to reduce it too low. Because one of the things that I think, and you all know, I'm not big on politicians. I don't have, a lot of time for politicians based on my own experiences. But I do appreciate the fact, something that some of us may take for granted. And that is that we have the ability to communicate directly with our representatives. Our representatives can literally sit on our couches. That doesn't happen everywhere. I think that's something we really, really are lucky to experience. So as it stands right now, keep in mind, if we went to 18, if we made it lower than 20, that's more people they have to see. Now, I think former government minister, the Honorable Dr. Renee Webb, and current independent candidate, was speaking of reducing the number of MPs and possibly raising the pay. That can be a consideration to attract more quality candidates if the pay is something that will get them there. I don't know. You let me know, audience. What are your thoughts on the number of members of parliament Bermuda currently has? What are your thoughts on it? What would you change? Amari Simons, he says 36, just enough. I would not want less than 30. Why not? Why wouldn't you want less than 30? Why not less than 30, Amari? I'm interested to know. Suzanne Ingham says, I think 18 to 20, densely populated, we can have an extra one. Okay. I want to hear the logic behind your responses, audience, if there is. I'm interested to know. Because I definitely understand the arguments on both sides. Here's something. I use the NBA, the National Basketball Association in the US, right? The NBA for years has been argued that there's less. Oops, what is that? I'm sorry. That's not Siri. I have an Android. She's never done that. I guess she's recognizing my voice. But anyway, the NBA, National Basketball Association, for years it has been argued that the NBA doesn't possess the quality anymore because there are too many teams. Whereas before, there were less teams and it was harder to get on a roster, right? Do you think that having less MPs would attract a higher caliber of candidate? Or do you think, no, that's the risk of having more low quality candidates? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Hadley and Swan says, Bruce Swan stated the MPs in Bermuda are part-time as opposed to the MPs in the Caribbean who are full-time MPs. Well, here's the thing with that. That's something that can be considered to change. And we need to figure out whether we need full-time MPs or not. If we did lower it, then, that's the thing. It's like ministers. I mean, some ministers must be full-time and some can be part-time. I think that if you're serving a ministry, it should be a full-time gig. Richard Scott said 9 parishes, the 3 more densely populated, get an extra candidate, which takes us to 21. Yes, I thought about the parishes, but obviously a parish like Pembroke, which is the most populated in Bermuda, will probably need more than one candidate to make sure that it's fair. Like everyone kind of has the same amount. Parishes is hard though because the populations in each parish are so different, and I think it definitely should be even along that. So, I like the idea, but we just have to make sure it's equitable across the line. Silas Lynch says, if you're raising the pay, then why reduce the number? My reason to reduce the numbers is to reduce the costs that have no use besides to sit backbench just because. Well, okay. The reason I believe Minister Webb was saying to raise the pay is to attract the quality candidates. That's number one. Number two is you don't reduce the number just to eliminate the money. And I think that's the challenge. And I'm not sure if anyone's earned a business here. But it's very simple. You can't just get rid of something because you need to cut costs. You need quality people in there to see how you can raise revenue. Cost cutting isn't always the solution. So I think her suggestion was pretty much, and she can speak for herself, saying reduce the number and take the pay and improve it for those who are still there so that we can attract better quality candidates. And I know some people may be saying, well, politics is about service to your country. Folks, you know how I feel about politicians. Tell you what, many people will not get involved in politics because of what comes with it. Yeah, I do believe politicians deserve to be paid a handsome salary. I do. And again, you know how I feel about politicians, but they do deserve that because they're literally responsible for our lives. And you want the best people. So if you're telling someone who's a doctor or a lawyer or a general manager or a CEO or, has a job that pays them handsomely and they don't have to deal with the stress of politics, that, look, we would really like for you to come and serve in this capacity. We believe you'll be a benefit to the country. It's going to cost us. That's the way it goes. So, no, this is not a cost-cutting measure. This is an improve the state of the country measure. And sometimes to improve the state of the country, we need to pay to attract the quality and caliber of candidates that we believe can improve Bermuda. So back to the question. What are your thoughts on the number of members of parliament that Bermuda has? Do you think 36 is too much? Let me go to Instagram because we had it on our Instagram as well. Let's see what folks on the gram. They still say the gram, or am I old? Like, it's still called the gram to some people, right? The gram. You could date me all you want. So let's go over on the gram. So over on the gram. Over on the gram. So the vote's a little closer. Not as many votes as Twitter or X, but 57% to the question about the number of MPs. 57% said 20 or less. 10% have said more than 20, and 33% have said keep it at 36. And then we've got some people with explanations. We've got someone who says, we have too many with the backbench collecting a check and not doing anything. No, they write letters to the editor and stuff. We've got another person who said, should be one person representing each parish. That sounds good, but I don't know if that's would be, in the best interest. Pembroke has way more people than St. George, for instance. Someone said, keep it at 36 for adequate coverage. Each area have equal constituents. Well, I believe each area should have equal number of constituents, but I don't think we necessarily need the number 36. Someone said, should be one MP per parish. The rest should get cracking. Again, that probably wouldn't be equitable. I feel we have far too many, and really and truly, they ain't doing nothing. Okay, that seems personal. Someone said more representation isn't a bad thing. We just have bad representation. Okay, fair enough. And we have someone who says increased MP salaries also our larger counterparts have less with more constituents. All right. So that's what we have on the gram. Let's go back to the live audience. Again, question is, what are your thoughts on the numbers of the number of members of parliament Bermuda currently has? So, oh, you all are coming through. Michelle White says, comparing our population numbers with other jurisdictions, yes, our numbers are too high. Based on those numbers to population, they should be able to visit each resident, yet typically, as we have seen in reports, they don't. Well, I think we're lucky in that sense, as I said earlier, Michelle. I think that's something we maybe take for granted, whether we like politics and politicians or not, that we do have that relationship where they can come sit on our couches if they choose to, right? I get your point, which it seems like you're saying, if we lowered the number, we definitely won't see the politicians, but that's on each one of them. For me, I don't believe in the PLP okie dokie of like things are one on the doorstep. Don't come to my doorstep unless I call for you. You shouldn't have to come to me and tell me what you've done for me. Now, if you're coming to me to ask me what my concerns are, then we can talk. But don't come to me and tell me what you've done for me. Murray Simon says, if you have 20 MPs, your government could be made up of like 11 people. Influence is more concentrated. Campaigns would be hyper-focused. I agree. There's a risk. With less people. And thank you for that. Renee Simmons says, yes, it's way too many. Our population has dwindled drastically. 36 is too many, whether part-time or not. For this little island, less MPs and raise pay for full-time MPs. Yeah, I'm there with you. Amari Simon says, as a party, it's easier to keep 20 people on a leash than 36. Well, it seems it's been easier to keep 30 people on a leash, or 29 now, than 24. I mean, I'm not doing that this morning. I'm not. But I see his point. But yeah, we saw what we saw with 30, then reduced to 29 last summer over the last 5 years. We saw what it looked like. Shamari Talbot-Orrid says increase in pay also reduces likelihood of corruption. Yeah, possibly. David Michael Wilson says, unfortunately, best pay doesn't always attract quality service. No, it doesn't, especially when there is nepotism, right? But the hope, I mean, look, if all of us sat here and we're honest, right? If we're honest, put our politics aside, many people tuned in right now would have thought that Curtis Dickinson would have made a better premier than David Burke if we look at the caliber of each of them. However, we didn't get to experience Curtis Dickinson, so truthfully, we'll never know. If the pay was more, do you think we'd attract more Curtis Dickinsons into the space? Maybe, maybe not. But to his point, David Michael Wilson's point is you'll still have the David Burts and others in that space. I mean, I'm not trying to degrade or denigrate or be derogatory in saying what I'm about to say, right? I'm not a bank exec. I'm not a reinsurance exec. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. I'm an entrepreneur that works my ass off, who literally my focus is trying to put food on my table and pay my bills. I am not a politician. I don't have what it takes to toe a party line. I don't have the patience to deal with all that politicians have to deal with. I think it's admirable that some people want to do it. However, there are a lot of low quality candidates because they've been unsuccessful outside of politics. And we need to find a way, whether it's reducing the number of people, increase in pay. I don't think we discussed this enough. We have got to rid Bermuda's parliament and Senate of low quality candidates. This is what our politics has become. It's become people holding up signs and holding constituency clinics, acting like they care about people so that they can maintain a job. It's about people posting on social media every 2 seconds about what they're doing in their constituency. It's become having loyalty only to those who you think can put money in your pocket. It's understanding that without this, you probably don't have a paycheck and the ability to make a way. That's what I see in many politicians today. Not every. Because we have some of the best educators. We have some of the best lawyers, entrepreneurs, activists. And then we have career politicians, some who've been in every political party in existence, who jump ship when they can't get their way because they know that politics is their only way to put food on their table. We don't need more of that. And if it means less MPs to rid ourselves of those kind of people, then I'm all for it. And if people continue to get offended at the language I use when I speak about the caliber and quality of candidates, Mama always said, sometimes the truth hurts. Let's go back to the audience. Alan Kate Horton says the difficulty of full-time cabinet ministers is that you serve at the pleasure of the premier. Once you are not in the premier's favor, you are out of a job. I understand that, but I'll say this much. If you're that good at what you do, you can always find another job if that's the case. That's, Suzanne Ingham says, whoever runs must love their country, Bermuda and all of its people. Raising the pay to attract the right people won't work because they are attracted to the pay, not the position. Do it for the year, then we will increase your pay. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because if you're taking someone full-time out of their space where they have a certain lifestyle that they have to support, they have, a budget, and you're paying them $200,000 less as an MP, that's not doable to people. It's not doable. And again, I'm a person, it's not for me. But we have to take our emotions and personal feelings out of it and look at it realistically. We have a lot of intellectual capacity out there. Intellectual capital, out there. We've got to find a way to attract it. Or else we're going to be left with some of the scraps that we currently have that are begging for our vote, to quote the Honorable former Finance Minister Curtis Dickinson, because they need a job. Richard Scott says, I think the electorate is simply looking for candidates who are competent and possess good character. If these two elements were present, the people wouldn't complain about such things as salary. I concur. I agree. Silas Lynch says, as it stands, we're getting any and everyone. Yup. Increase in pay will still attract less qualified candidates just for more pay. It may attract them, but I think it's up to us who gets elected, really. It's up to the community. Attract the less quality candidates, but give us a choice in voting for the high caliber candidate. That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. And this is the unfortunate truth, Silas Lynch. Someone said it yesterday, and we've been saying it for years. He says, or she says, votes go to those who are more popular, not who are more qualified. I disagree. I'd say it is a popularity contest, but you can't tell me that certain people in the PLP are more popular than others. The party wins people some elections. The history of the PLP wins some people. People are not voting. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. And I'm going to pick on two people, and this is not to be derogatory or rude. If you take David Burt and Jamal Simmons, two individuals, right? And you put them up against, let's say Shiona Tarini is in the UBP and maybe Sean Goder in the UBP. Shiona Tarini and Sean Goder are more popular than those two. But I guarantee you Jamal Simmons and David Burt will win because they're running for the PLP in a certain constituency. So while popularity does play a role, certain people in certain spaces are not winning because they're more popular than the other candidate. They're winning because of the pool that party has based on history. That makes sense? Suzanne Ingham says, you nailed it, Jamal, just looking for a job. Alan Kate Horton says, amen. And Silas Lynch says, we're not taking them from anything. They're signing up to it. All righty, folks, we've got to do some news. I mean, you all got me excited. Got me talking a bit longer this morning. But do me a favor before we're going to take a quick break, right? And while we're on this break, if you all can do me a slight favor, if you haven't already, whatever platform you're on, give us a like, a love, a follow, subscribe, show us some love. Share this conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Do us that favor. But I'll say this before we head out to the break. I'm not going to tell you not to vote PLP. I'm not going to tell you not to vote OBA. I'm not going to tell you not to vote independent, FDM. I'm not going to tell you not to vote. What I'm going to continue trying to do between now and February 18th is what Teo Dill said back in 2007. He pretty much stated that all he was trying to do is make people think. That's it. Just get people to think. I want you to think. Not like me, not like Alan Kate Horton, not like Silas Lynch, not like Suzanne Ingham, not like Richard Scott. We are individuals. I want us all to just think. Think beyond what's normal to us. Just think. And I think the more we do that, things will start to look and feel differently. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this break with Simone Vaughn for today's news break. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
When it comes to footwear, we carry functional, comfortable, orthopedic, and waterproof shoes. We have construction shoes, golf shoes, shoes for walking, shoes for boating. We even have shoes for pickleball. We have shoes for everyone. With brands by Skechers, Atrax, Propay, Easy Street, Nursemates, Clogs, Avenger, Cherokee, Cat, Frog Talk, and DeWalt. The list goes on.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Unlock your business potential with BDC's General Microloan, offering up to $30,000 for Bermudian small and medium businesses. Whether it's for inventory, working capital, or equipment, we provide 100% guarantee on approved loans. Simple application, low interest rates, and fast processing. Apply today and make your business dream come true.
Bermuda Trivia, the Black History Edition, is now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Visit bermudatrivia.com or email contact@bermudatrivia.com to learn more.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Jamal Hartman here. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond Mike as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Folks, remember last week I said that if we don't get enough people voting, the UK can come in. That was actually incorrect because I was thinking, what's those things called referendums, for it to be a binding referendum. But according to, I reached out to the parliamentary registrar. They said, no, there doesn't have to be a certain number of votes in Bermuda. It doesn't. So that said, I'm just going to quote Susie Aruda again. Don't let other people make that decision for you. I feel how I feel about the election process and politics and politicians, but don't let other people make that decision for you. That's what it's going to come down to. Maya done an excellent video. I'm not sure if it's up on social media yet, but she done an excellent video yesterday, just explaining to people the voting process. So if she has it up, I'll check to see if she has it up. But we're going to bring Simone in for the Daily Hour news break, and I think this might be Simone's first time voting. You know what? I think I'm going to ask her. Let's bring her in, folks. Hello.
Good morning, everyone. Hello.
How are you? I don't mean to put you on the spot, Simone. Well, first off, welcome back. This is your second time with us already this year. Happy to. And is this really? Are you voting? Like, not are you voting? That's none of my business. Are you registered to vote?
Yes, this would be my first year. I'm officially registered to vote.
Wow. So, okay. So, folks, I don't know if you remember your first time voting. I don't. I honestly don't remember. So does it feel different? Like, do you feel like, wow, I'm an adult, I have a choice to make, like an important choice? Like, do you feel pressure?
Yes, it's low-key a little overwhelming because at one point you're not really thinking about it because, you can't even do it. So you're like, okay, well, it's out of my hands. But now that it's in my hands, it's like, oh, the pressure's on. I got to really look at who's doing what, and get into it.
Nah, that's cool. Audience, do you remember your first time voting? Like, do you remember that? That's pretty cool. And you've now got me wondering. I'd like to talk to some young people to find out how do they feel about their first time voting. Obviously, you're doing news, so you're covering stories, so you're probably getting a lot of knowledge. But majority of young people probably, not interested. They're just like, hey, okay. Where do I vote? Or how do I register? Obviously, that time's passed, but congratulations on being registered.
Thank you.
That's a big thing. Congratulations. And, if you decide to participate, all the best in ticking in the place that you feel best represents you.
Thank you. I will take that into consideration.
Alrighty. Well, what you got for us today?
All right. So I just want to say, first off, congratulations to everybody who's watching, who made it through the week. That's no simple task. So
Yeah.
applause to that. Clap yourself on the back. Today's news break is brought to you by People's Pharmacy. So without further ado, let's get into it. There was a fire early this morning that destroyed an apartment building in Sandy's Long Bear area. Investigations are still ongoing to determine the cause of the fire. Fortunately, there are no reported casualties at this time, and thankfully, the fire was being able to be contained by the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service.
Oh no, that
Yeah.
was horrible. Wow, I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm glad there's no casualties, but I can't imagine. And just catching up on the news in California, audience, where people have lost everything. And one of the comments that is really is sad, because I've seen comments when people, I guess people in California losing homes must be rich or whatever, and you have some people saying, "Well, they're rich; they can replace it." No, man. In Hurricane Fabian 2003, we lost so many pictures and memorabilia, and so my heart goes out to the folks up in Sands. No telling what they lost. I mean, I'm sorry. I am.
People's whole lives up in smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. In other news, around 7:20 last night, the police and emergency medical services responded to a serious traffic collision near the junction of Crosslands Lane and Parsons Road, Pembroke. The incident involved a motorcyclist and a pedestrian. Information is still limited at this time, but both persons were attended to at the scene before being transported to the hospital for further treatment of their injuries, which are described as serious. These are the latest updates for that so far.
That's very sad. And, as Maya, respectfully, she's very, when Maya reports on stuff like that, I don't know if the audience notices, but emotions, you can see it in her. And, I'd love a week where we don't have to report on a road traffic collision. I really hope that everyone's okay. Less of it, please.
Yeah, definitely. And just makes you mindful to be careful on the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so far, January has been jam-packed. And starting off with another event recap, Bermuda's Runner Weekend was this past weekend, kicked off Friday with the Front Street Mile races. So here's the story and recap of that event.
This footage is courtesy of the Bermuda Triangle Challenge and Island Stats Bermuda. The Front Street Mile commenced this past Friday, the 17th, with runners flocking in from all over the world to participate. Runners from the UK, USA, as well as other countries, and of course from right here in Bermuda, all looking to compete and hopefully win a prize. The race was a combination of races ranging from adults to youth in male and female categories. There was also a fun addition to this year's races, the Butterfield Mascot Race, where some of Bermuda's beloved mascots participated and took photos with the crowd. Ben Claridge was the winner of the adult men's race, who trained with Dage Miners, a Bermudian athlete who ran and won in the 2023 race. Anna Vess was the winner for the women's adult race. The Front Street Mile was the first in a series of races for Bermuda's race weekend, with the 10K, 5K, marathon, and half marathon being held on the following Saturday and Sunday.
That's awesome. I love that Dage brought his partner to Bermuda, partner one. But hey, look, man, Front Street Mile was one of my favorite things to do in January in Bermuda. It used to be called International Race Day Weekend. Love it. Haven't been in 9 years, but I'm hoping that we can get it back to the heights it once was, and excitement. Audience, did anyone go to the any of the races over the week or participate? I have no interest in participating. I'm a sideline guy when it comes to running. You didn't run, did you, Sina?
Oh, no. I'm not a runner, but my nephew, he ran in one of the races Sunday because he likes to run. So I was like, good for you, mate. I'm cheering for you from him.
Yeah, we'll be over here. Go on, nephew. All right.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're not doing that. All right. What else you got?
Yes, so we are heavy in election season. You know, we've always been talking about it. It seems like every day, like there's news or announcement or somebody's coming out with candidates. So this next one comes from the FDM and their candidate announcement.
This footage is courtesy of elections.gov BM and TNN. As the election season continues, parties are starting to announce their candidates. The Free Democratic Movement recently announced their candidate Desmond Crockwell, who would be running for Hamilton East Constituency 5. The announcement took place at the House of Assembly in Hamilton at 1 p.m. Tuesday, January 21st. Crockwell is the current Director of Youth Division Promotions. Promoting peace in Bermuda is their MO. His announcement comes after Derek Burgess, who currently holds the seat for Hamilton East Constituency 5, announces his retirement. Crockwell also ran for the same seat in 2020 and amassed 13.26% of the overall vote, which was split between his affiliate, the FDM, the PLP, and the OBA. Desmond Crockwell is confident in his chances of winning the seat and shares his plans and hopes for when in office.
We also need to look at how we can disperse some of the funding that's being used, and we can actually allocate that to larger parts of the island. So if we have a budget of, I don't know, $400,000 to $500,000 at the gain reduction team or whatever it is operating with, well, if we took that and put $40,000 into each community and into each parish, then I think that we would have a greater impact, especially with community involvement involved.
All the best to Mr. Crockwell. Looks like that seat is going to be contested, I guess, by the PLP. There's no announcement yet, but it looks like it's not going to be Derek Burgess based on what you just said.
Yeah. So later that same evening, the OBA announced 9 of their candidates. Some of them are familiar faces, and there's some new ones who are looking to replace OBA members that are currently have a seat. So, it could be interesting to see that transition.
So, audience, I want to say this. Look, again, I don't. It's tough doing this job right now with an election because you all don't understand. I got accused of being pro OBA, pro FD. I was working with the FDM at one point. If I compliment the PLP, I'm on their side. It's just crazy. Trust me, I don't support any. But that's probably the last time I'm going to explain that to you because I shouldn't have to. But I found something interesting that was just sent to me from Bermuda Broadcasting, our good friends up on the hill. And the title says, "Man who was jailed for manslaughter among OBA candidates," the 9 candidates they announced, right? And, okay, let me say this. Based on our laws, the young man can run. We've had people who've been convicted of crimes who have served not just as MPs, but as government ministers before. The late Sean Crockwell, Ralph Commission. Maybe I'm different, but I believe people deserve chances, especially when we have MPs who have not shown the best character. So I just want us to be like, yeah, okay, I'm not dismissing what this gentleman did or anyone. But as a society, do we hold them against them, or do we say, you know what? This person has faced the consequences of their actions, and now they want to give back to our country. That's on you. Again, I'll repeat this to the election. They removed me from voting, so I can't make a decision. I don't have a say. I can just have conversations with you so that all of us can think. Sorry, Samantha. Go ahead.
You're good. For those who are eligible to vote and first time like me, and looking at the different candidates being announced, they definitely have a lot to think about. I posted a poll on my social media to get a look at the climate of how people were feeling. The good news is that 100% of the people who participated said they are planning to vote in the upcoming election. And another question asked on who they thought would get the most seats was a 50-50 split between the PLP and FDM. So that's interesting and something to think about. But mind you, the age demographic from these responses are mainly young adults, with the youngest being 21 years old.
Man, OBA, you didn't get any love. You got some work to do between now and the 18th of February.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They sure do. In other news that affects our American audience and some of the team that live in the States, wink, wink, TikTok goes through with their ban, kinda.
What you mean?
TikTok goes through with their ban, kinda. Did you not have a what you call it?
I got like a note that said something about President Trump will take care of this or something, and then it came back up like the next day or something.
Yes, yes. So there was a little blip in the system with the TikTok. So let's get into that video.
TikTok was scheduled to be banned on January 19th for its American users. However, the app went dark Saturday night of the 18th of January, causing users to erupt in a panic.
Oh my God, I almost died. No. I almost died. That was so scary. Thank you. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
Many flocked to Instagram and other social media platforms to express their dismay and disbelief of the app's departure, despite being warned of the ban previously. To many people's surprise, another app was also affected by the ban. CapCut, an editing app associated with TikTok, also went dark. The ban was issued due to security reasons, seeing as TikTok is owned by Chinese affiliates. In protest, many TikTok users went to RedNote, TikTok's sister account made specifically for Chinese people. The influx of users made RedNote the #1 app in America, even though the entire app, including the terms and conditions, are in Mandarin. The language barrier didn't hinder them. Language learning app Duolingo saw a significant spike of U.S. learners trying to learn Mandarin. However, come Sunday, January 19th, not even 24 hours later, TikTok was back in operation for users who didn't delete the app during its dark period. For those who do use TikTok, they can get back to their regular scrolling.
If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Okay, time's up.
That's hilarious. I'm sorry. So first of all, I didn't know CapCut was connected to TikTok. I probably posted on TikTok 10 times in my life. I just started getting used to the app. I enjoy it. I think it's probably the funnest app because it's all about being creative. It just seemed like such a political move. I mean, look, I said this in the TDH group because we're very selective and people laugh and don't take me seriously, right? So I had someone I knew who said, based on the Russians getting involved in 2016 election, they were not using Facebook anymore. And then you've had people over the last year or so saying they're not using Twitter anymore because of Elon Musk. I don't know if you all saw the inauguration, but my Uncle Bernie, Bernie Sanders, Senator Sanders, he's been telling you for years what it is. And if you watch the inauguration, there's a reason the Washington Post wouldn't endorse Kamala Harris. You saw Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Washington Post owner. You saw Mark Zuckerberg, who all of a sudden with Meta isn't going to be doing fact checking. You saw Elon Musk. You saw a number of them. TikTok, man, they said was there as well. My point is, why do we love lying to ourselves? Why are we so comfortable? Teo Dill said it years ago. I love quoting Teo because he was way before his time in saying a lot of stuff. And you all don't appreciate his brain and wisdom enough, I'm telling you. But he said it. We're all hypocrites. We are. But some of us are a bit too comfortable in our hypocrisy. So I'm asking the question here and now. So y'all deleted Twitter. When you deleting Instagram and Facebook, when you deleting TikTok, when are you deleting your favorite apps if it's these people are so mean and bad? You're not going to, because your hypocrisy is based on convenience. I'm done. I'm sorry, Simon. Thank you. That was a great story.
You're good. I, for one, am glad my American friends, including, our brothers and sisters, are back on TikTok. It was kind of boring without everybody.
Oh, man, it's entertaining.
Yeah. So for the weather today, we're looking at cloudy skies and windy conditions later in the day. And during midday, expect a few scattered showers. The temperature will range from a high of 69 to a low of 63 degrees. However, with the wind and rainy conditions, it will feel around 53 to 61 degrees.
Thank you so much for that. I woke up, it was 16 degrees here in Georgia. It's freezing. I just moved back north. Real quickly, it's the days of the year today, audience. So we have in the U.S. It's National Hot Sauce Day. Hot Sauce Day, right? So my doctor told me, I'm no spring chicken, so I can't, be down in the hot sauce like I love to. But I want to ask the audience: do you all love hot sauce? Are you hot sauce people? Simone, are you a hot sauce person?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite kind of hot sauce?
I like Texas Pete.
Okay, so here's the thing: what do you all put hot sauce on? What do you put your hot sauce on?
Anything, nachos.
Okay.
Burritos, more Mexican.
You put hot sauce on chips and vegetables?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You cool. You're in the cool club. I put hot sauce on pretty much everything. It's got to have that little spice and sweet. I've only downgraded due to doctor's orders, so I don't do the spicy like mango habanero and ghost pepper anymore, right? Because I don't need to be sweating out of my ears trying to enjoy food. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad I was. But it's this place in New Orleans. By the way, down in Bourbon Street, is it Bourbon or Bourbon? Whatever. Down in New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know it was snowing yesterday?
No, I didn't see that.
Man, it was snowing in Atlanta again yesterday. But it was snowing in the snow. It don't snow in New Orleans, folks. But anyway, down there, that's where they have this store with all these different hot sauces. If you're a hot sauce fan and you visit New Orleans, New Orleans. I didn't say New Orleans or New Orleans. I said New Orleans. If you visit, you check it out. Get yourself some hot sauce. Janet Maynard says yes, she does some hot sauce. Anika the Shield says no hot sauce. My goodness. We got Suzanne Ingham. She says I like spicy soup. Need a little kick in my food. Michelle White says heck no to hot sauce, but I like a little spice in my food. All right. So man, we're the only two part of the cool club with Suzanne and Janet Maynard today. Thank you so much for the news break. You have yourself a wonderful day. We'll speak soon.
All righty.
All right, Simone Bourne, folks. If you appreciated today's conversation, news break discussion, give us a thumbs up, love. We're going to take a final break. We're going to come back. I'm going to wrap it up, and I'll also give you the daily play. All right? This is a fun daily play. How many people in the audience are Motown experts? Loved Motown back in the day. Berry Gordy, Temptations, Marvin Gaye, Smokey Robinson. How many people out there know about Motown? This question's going to be a Motown-related question. We'll be back in 1 minute, 40 seconds. Stick with us.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Nova's Ark Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top-quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
Right. Who was the first woman to become not just the first female opposition leader in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Hey, buddy. Hun, who was the first woman to serve as opposition leader, not just in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Mason, what did you say?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Dame Lois Brown Evans? Where do you find that?
Mommy playing Bermuda Trivia.
Mommy playing Bermuda Trivia. Oh, honey, I'm so proud of you. Good job.
It's true. Children are a reflection of their environment. Bermuda's favorite trivia game, fun with a purpose. To educate, to entertain, to inform, to inspire, to learn, and to enjoy. Bermuda Trivia, all volumes now available at various stores throughout Bermuda. Visit bermudatrivia.com to learn more and follow Bermuda Trivia on your favorite social media platforms.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. Jamal Hartman here. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can do this with you on a regular basis. If you haven't already, make sure whatever platform you're on, you give us a like, a love, repost it, retweet it, share it, subscribe, follow our pages. Make sure as many people as you know have access to these important community conversations and the information that is shared daily by our team. All right, it's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, This is not a Bermuda trivia question. It's music today. All right. You all said you love some Motown. Suzanne Ingham says Motown, awesome music. And we got Michelle White. She says, yes, love Motown, but still get the artists and their songs mixed up. Here we go. First person to get this right. What group did Smokey Robinson leave in 1971? What group did Smokey Robinson leave in 1971? All right. Anika DeShields, it was the Miracles. No, not the Temptations. He was never a part of the Temptations, but he wrote many of their classic hits, Mark Arthur C. Phillips. The Miracles, yes, Manuela Joan got it. No, he was not a Pip in Gladys Knight and the Pips, was he, Polly Rich? Yes, the Miracles. Yeah, the Miracles. Not the Commodores. That was Lionel Richie. Commodores. But yes, the Miracles. Lionel Richie was Commodores, Lionel Richie. But in 1971, Smokey Robinson left the Miracles. But I did not know until, believe it or not, Smokey Robinson is probably the most famous person I've actually interviewed on the radio prior to him performing in Bermuda in 2007, I believe it was, or 8, one of those years. But anyway, I didn't know that he wrote most of the Temptations hits. I think My Girl was one of his, but he went on a list of songs. And I wonder if Teo has that conversation I had with him. He probably doesn't. But Smokey Robinson, legend, still alive, still performing, still going strong. All right, audience, let's wrap it up. Just reflecting on today's conversation. Look, I don't, when I share my perspective, it's not solid, right? Do we need 36 MPs? Truthfully, on the surface from the outside, I would probably say, no, we can probably do with, less, maybe 26, right? Maybe 27. I do see the benefit of having more people so that constituents have an opportunity to engage with their elected officials. But do our elected officials really take advantage of that? So I don't know. I think it's worth a discussion. Also, will increased salaries really attract the best, or would it make those who can't find jobs or careers more desperate to maintain their political positions? Again, don't know. What I will say is it's probably necessary at this time for us to review both the number of MPs and also the pay. I think it's necessary to review both. We're getting closer, folks. Here's your daily inspiration. Quote, learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. End quote, author unknown. All right. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.